Okay, so once again, good day. Our topic is about workforce planning and resource forecasting. Workforce planning and resource forecasting are strategic functions at the core of advanced personnel management and organizational behavior, especially in the public sector, where institution must balance limited resources with expanding mandates. And this topic focuses on how organizations systematically assess their current workforce, anticipate future human resource needs, and align talent capabilities with long-term organizational goals. So for Doctor of Public Administration student, workforce planning is not merely an HR activity, but a governance mechanism that ensures continuity, efficiency, and institutional resilience. In an era of rapid technological change, demographic shifts, and evolving public expectation, public organization must move beyond reactive staffing approaches. Resource forecasting allows leaders to prepare for future demands by analyzing trends, risk, and opportunities affecting workforce supply and demand. When done effectively, workforce planning support evidence-based decision making, strengthens organizational performance, and ensure that public institutions remain responsive, ethical, and service-oriented. At this point, may we now give the floor to our presenter to discuss the key concepts, frameworks, and application of workforce planning and resource forecasting in public sector organization. Go ahead. Go ahead, Miss Fade.
Hello, sir. Hello, Doc Mace. Good
Yes.
afternoon.
Afternoon.
Today, today I'm going to discuss about the workforce planning and resource forecasting. This is where we develop a future-ready talent for our organizational success. So, today we're focusing on how workforce planning and resource forecasting are pivotal to achieving this goal. Um, in advanced personal management and organizational behavior, remember that our aim is to prepare talent that meets the ever evolving demands of our organization. So, this involves ensuring that we not only have the right number of people, but also that they possess the right skills and position effectively within the organization. By mastering workforce planning and resource forecasting, we set our organizations up for success in dynamic environment. Mm, So let's explore the objectives, including the understanding the difference between the public and private agencies. Sir Alan, sa objectives po. So, first objectives, at the end of this session, we will be able to understand the workforce planning. Mm, we will examine workforce planning, which entails the strategic alignment of our workforce with organizational goals. Next, we will discuss the HR forecasting processes, focusing on the prediction of future staffing needs as an essential aspect for both public and private sectors. By Also, by comparing public and private agencies, we will identify both the differences and similarities in their approaches. And finally, we will underscore the significance of these practices for organizations, ensuring that the right personnel are in the place for success. We will also incorporate examples from both public and private companies to illustrate these concepts in practice. Next slide, sir. Thank you po. So first, let us know what is workforce planning. So workforce planning is all about having the right people and the right skills exactly where and when you need them. And of course, workforce planning is a systematic approach. It's not just about filling positions, but ensuring that each role is strategically aligned with organizational goals. Uh, think about how this applies to your own experiences. Have you ever been in a situation where the right team wasn't in place? So it can really impact productivity and morale. Dapat nasa tamang ano tayo, nasa tamang tao, tamang team pala. So keep in mind that this process is not a one-time task. It's ongoing and dynamic. We have to consider also how this planning can affect everyone, from individual contributor to top management. Next, sir. So what is the importance so next is the human resource forecasting. So what is human resource forecasting? So human resource forecasting is an essential component of workforce planning. It helps us predict future staffing needs by considering several factors. First, think about the workload changes as projects or demands increase or decrease. So do our staffing requirements. Next, we have to consider the retirements. Understanding when experienced team members plan to retire allows us to prepare and ensure a smooth transition. Expansion is another critical element also. If your organization is growing, anticipating the need for additional staff, additional staff is vital for maintaining performance. Lastly, turnover trends provide insights into potential staffing gaps. By understanding why people leave, we can develop strategies to improve retention. Uh, these predictions guides us in proactive planning, ensuring that we are ready for whatever the future holds. Next is the why is that important to have a workforce planning? So first and foremost, strategic workforce. Ah, so next pala is human resource. Pasobra yung slide ko, sorry. Next is the human resource forecasting. So what ay wait lang. Wait lang sir, nag-loading kasi yung ano ko. Next is the importance of workforce planning. So the importance of workforce planning is to prevent staff shortage and exist. So strategic workforce planning functions as the powerful tool for achieving the optimal balance of staffing. It eliminates the chaos of being understaffed or overwhelmed, ensuring that your team is well prepared to tackle any challenges that arise. When you align the right talents with the appropriate tasks, your team transforms into a dynamic force, enhancing engagement and driving exemplary results that elevate the entire organization. Moreover, workforce planning represents a savvy financial strategy by accurately assessing staffing needs and associated costs. You can allocate your budget effectively, thereby strengthening the organization's financial position. Finally, effective workforce planning guarantees that your service remain uninterrupted while fostering continuous team development. With a well crafted strategic plan, you can navigate unforeseen circumstances and cultivate an environment conducive to growth. So, these advantages illustrates that workforce planning is not merely a task, it is your invaluable asset in the e- ever evolving landscape of work. Next is the ano ba ang workforce planning? Pinagkaiba ng workforce planning, what's the difference between the private agency and the public agency? So, the three key components we're focusing on today, being profit driven, flexible in hiring, and performance based. So this to ensure that our workforce planning is not just about numbers, but about strategically enhancing organizational performance. So, in the context of private agency, this approach allows for dynamic adjustment based on the market demands. Private agencies can pivot quickly, adapting hiring strategies to maximize profit and performance. While public agencies operate under different constraints, like service oriented, governed by laws with fixed plantilla position and strict budget controls. So here are the workforce planning that requires a more structured approach to comply with legal and budgetary frameworks. These distinctions highlight the importance of tailoring workforce planning strategies to suit different operational contexts, ensuring both efficiency and compliance. Yan ang pinagkaiba ng uh, workforce planning in between private agency and public agency. Next, sir. So let's move to the workforce planning process. First is environmental scanning. So this entails a thorough review of both internal and external factors, including our budget, current policies, technological advancement, population demands, and labor market conditions. So these elements serve as the foundation for our planning. Next, we conduct a workforce analysis, analyze current employees, skills, age, profile, performance, workload, and workload distribution. So we assess their skills, age, demographics, performance metrics, and workload distribution. So this analysis provides valuable insights into our existing capabilities. So following this, we engage in demand forecasting, yung pangatlo. We engage in demand where we estimate the future number and type of employees required. So this step is vital for aligning our workforce with our strategic objectives. Next comes a supply forecasting where we assess the availability of personnel through promotions, retirements, resignations, and our recruitment pool. Mas naaano 'to sa mga sa public, tawag nito, public agencies, yung promotion, retirements, resignations, and, our recruitment pool. Next, the fifth step is the gap analysis. It involves comparing demand with supply to identify any workforce shortages or surpluses. In the action of planning planning phase, we address these gaps through recruitment, training, redeployment, succession planning, or even outsourcing. So this ensure we put we position the right individuals in the right roles and the right time. And finally, we reach the monitoring and evaluation. So this involves tracking our results and adjusting our plans based on performance indicators to promote continuous improvement. Excuse me. Next is the HR forecasting methods. So we have two main categories of methods, which are the quantitative and qualitative. So quantitative methods rely on data, numbers, and statistical techniques to predict workforce needs. This is often used in environments where data is readily available and decisions need to be precise. While in qualitative methods, it involves expert judgment and insights, which can be especially in valuable dynamic or rapidly changing environments where numbers alone might not tell the whole story. So now let's compare how these methods apply in different types of agencies. Sorry for inconvenience. So nawala yung data ko. So now let's compare how these methods apply in different types of agency. In private agencies, HR forecasting often includes seasonal hiring, outsourcing, and making data-driven decisions. So these organizations may adjust their workforce rapidly based on market demands or changes in business strategy. So while in public agencies, face unique challenges like retirement and attrition, program based needs, and strict budget limitation. Here forecasting must be aligned with long-term program goals and governmental budget cycle. Understanding these distinctions helps tailor HR strategies effectively to each environment. Next is ah so ang susunod pala private agencies and the example. So before we move on sa private agency example, i-share ko din pala yung sa CSC. Sorry hindi ko siya nalagay sa sa PPT ko. So ano ba yung role of the Civil Service Commission or the CSC in workforce planning and HR management sa atin sa public agency? First is constitutional mandate ng constitutional mandate ng CSC. So the Civil Service Commission is the central personnel agency of the Philippine government. So this it ensures a professional, merit based and accountable civil service. Lahat ng mga nasa government alam naman natin 'di ba na lahat ng nasa government na under kay CSC na nagre-require sila ng mga tawag nito, may mga requirements silang nire-require pala. Gaya sa atin, gaya sa mga LGU, mga nasa public hospital, nasa agencies under the ILG, gaya sa amin, PNP, Fire, and DBGMP. So, ano ba ang ginagawa ni CSC? So, CSC oversees recruitment and selection, appointment and promotion, training and development, performance management, discipline and ethics, and HR policies and standards. So, this makes CSC a key driver of workforce planning in all public agencies. So, the role of CSCs in workforce planning establishes HR policies and standards. So the CSC issues rules and guidelines that agencies must follow. For example, ang qualification standards or the QS, position classification system, merit selection plan, performance management system or the SPMS. Sa atin halos lahat naman sa atin merong SPMS eh. Alam ko dito ang SPMS dito yung binibase yung sa natin, yung sa bonus natin na nakukuha sa rating ng SPMS natin. And then the prime HRM framework. So these standards ensure that that right people are hired, positions match actual job needs, fair and transparent recruitment. CSC also approves appointments and staffing action. The CSC validates the appointments, promotions, transfers, reappointments, reclassifications of position. So this ensures only qualified personnel occupy government positions. Staffing decisions follow merit and fitness principle. CSC also supports human resource planning through Prime HRM. Prime HRM is or the program to institutionalize meritocracy and excellence in HRM. So it helps agencies to assess HR maturity level, improve HR system, strengthen workforce capability, align staffing with agency goals, agencies development, HR strategic plans, succession plans, and the learning and development plan. CSC also regulates recruitment and selections. This ensures transparent job posting, fair screening and ranking, proper selection board process, and equal opportunity employment. This improves workforce quality and prevents political interference. Kung nakikita nyo, bawat agency, example, pag hiring sila, available yung job position na yun, pinopost nila sa website nila kasi yan din po ang isa sa requirement ni CSC na dapat pinopost yung mga yung mga tawag nito, yung mga pinopost yung mga kailangan nilang kailangan nilang tao, kailangan nila na na hiring sila sa ganon na kunyari admin admin 4, admin ganun. Pinopost nila, tapos nilalagay dyan nila yung mga requirements, kung ano-ano. Tapos ang requirements based yun sa standard ng CSC or sa QS ni CSC. Tapos pag may nag-apply, ipapasa yun doon sa CSC or ng HR. Tawag nito, pag nag-apply, di ba, ipapasa sa agency, i-scrutinize niya lahat ng mga papel, mga i-validate ng agency. Tapos may kung makapasa lahat ng mga requirements, doon ipapasa sa CSC na para malaman ng CSC na yung plantilla na yon na available na pinost nila is occupied na or may na-hired na sila. Pero minsan, alam nyo na yun, pinopost lang yun, kunyari hiring, pero yung totoo, na anuhan na yun, na allotted na sa pamilya. So, next, CSC strengthens training and capability building. CSC accredits training program, provides leadership development, promotes competency-based training. This supports future workforce readiness. So the workforce data and HR analytics, the CSC collects government HR data, the number of employees, vacancies, retirement projections, skills inventory. So this data helps agencies forecast manpower needs. Yun yung sinasabi kong pinopost. For like example, di na ako lalayo sa ibang agency sa amin na. Sa example and public agency sa BGMP. So BGMP anticipates the increase of inmate population or the PDL population, retirement of the senior jails officers, expansion of facilities. The workforce planning actions, ang gagawin is HR prepares manpower forecast. Next is to coordinate with CSC for position qualification standards. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina. Appointment processing, tapos recruitment compliance, isasubmit ang plantilla request kay DBM, magkakandak ng merit-based hiring, tapos mag-i-implement ng training for new officers. Tapos si CSC will ensure all staffing actions are legal, fair, and competency-based. Yun, yun yung dinadaanan ng mga papel bago ma-hire sa BGMP. So another example, hindi, tama na pala yan. Okay na yung isa lang. So what is the importance of civil service in workforce planning? So it promotes professionalism, prevents political hiring, ensures competency standards, supports continuity of public service, strengthens the accountability. So another example sa private agency example. So here are some real-world examples of HR forecasting in private agencies, which can offer valuable insights into different strategies. So first, let's consider a manufacturing company. So they are expecting an increase in orders, which means they anticipate needing of 20 additional machines operation. So to address this, they are focusing on training and recruitment. This proactive approach helps them stay ahead of demand and maintain production efficiency. Next example is the BPO company. BPO BPO company facing high attrition rates. So they have to develop a hiring pipeline and employee retention programs to combat this challenge. By implementing these strategies, they are not only filling positions quickly, but also working to improve job satisfaction and reduce turnover. So both examples highlight the importance of tailored solution in workforce planning for private agencies. So now let's see how these strategies contrast with those in public agencies. Next, sa public. So here are the examples of how public agencies approach HR forecasting. So na-discuss ko na din yung sa BGMP kung paano sila mag-recruit. So ko na lang ulit. So for example, the Bureau of Jail and Management and Penology or the BGMP, they anticipate increase in inmate population. So, yun nga, to address this, they plan for additional jail officer and necessary training. A key part of their strategy is coordinating with the DBM or the Department of Budget and Management as well as the Civil Service Commission to get approval for new positions. So this highlights the importance of planning and collaborations in their process. Next example, the local government unit hospital. They are preparing for the retirement of nurses. Their approach is proactive also. They implement succession planning and offer scholarship programs. So this helps ensure they maintain a skilled workforce that ready to step in when needed. So these examples show how public agencies strategically plan to meet future workforce needs. So collaboration and forward thinking is very necessary in this environment. This proactive planning is crucial for ensuring efficient and sustainable operations. So here are some challenges in workforce planning. So the challenges that organization often face in this area is the budget limitations can restrict the ability to hire new staff or invest in training programs. This makes it crucial to prioritize spending and look for innovative solutions. Next is the policy restrictions. This can also pose significant hurdles, particularly in government settings where adherence to regulation is non negotiable. Flexibility and creativity in navigating these restrictions are the key. Another major challenge is skill shortages. As industries evolve, the demand for new skills can outpace the supply of qualified individuals. This emphasizes the need for continuous learning and development program. The last challenges in workforce planning, the data accuracy. This is also critical for effective workforce planning. Inaccurate or outdated data can lead to poor decision making. So it's important also to ensure the data integrity and regular updates. Um, so the next is to end this report. To sum up, the effective workforce planning is not just about filling positions. So it's about ensuring that organization can sustain itself, operate efficiently, and deliver quality service over the long term or the long run. So think about the sustainability. Planning ahead means anticipating future needs and challenges. Efficiency ties into optimizing resources and processes, ensuring that you're not just reacting to challenges but proactively addressing them. And of course, quality service delivery is the ultimate goal, ensuring that community receive the services they need without interruption. So these elements together create a robust framework that supports organizational growth and resilience. So let us keep these key aspects in our mind as we consider workforce planning in our agency. So that's all for my report, DocMate, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, workforce planning begins with a clear understanding of the organization mission, its strategic priorities, and service delivery requirements. It involves assessing the current workforce in terms of skills, competencies, age profile, performance levels, and organizational rules. No? This baseline analysis enables leaders to identify gaps between existing capabilities and future organizational needs. Resource forecasting builds on this assessment by projecting future workforce requirements based on internal and external factors. That's why we have SWOT analysis. No? And because when we say SWOT analysis, the strength and weaknesses within the organization or the internal factors. And when it comes to opportunities and threats, that is an external factors. No? And this include policy changes, no? Budget constraints, technological advancement, retirement trends, and population growth. In public administration, forecasting is particularly important because hiring cycles are lengthy and workforce adjustment often require legislative or regulatory approval. So a key dimension of workforce planning is skills and competency alignment. As public organizations adopt digital system, data-driven governance, and innovative service models, traditional skill sets may no longer be sufficient. And strategic workforce planning ensures continuous learning, reskilling, and upskilling so employees remain effective and adaptable. So again, workforce planning also plays an important role in organizational behavior and culture. Transparent staffing strategies, peer succession planning, and merit-based deployment contribute to employee motivation, trust, and engagement. When employees see a clear career path and institutional support, organizational commitment and performance improve. So from a leadership perspective, workforce planning and forecasting enhance risk management and organizational sustainability. Anticipating shortage in critical positions, no leadership transitions, or high turnover areas allows organizations to implement proactive solution rather than crisis-driven responses. This is especially vital no, in public safety, health, syempre, education, and regulatory agencies. So overall, workforce planning and resource forecasting are strategic tools for building future-ready public institutions. For doctoral level public administrators, mastery of this topic must means understanding how human capital decisions influence governance outcomes and service quality and public trust. When aligned with organizational behavior principles, workforce planning uh, becomes a powerful driver of long-term institutional success and public value creation. Okay? Thank you so much, presenter.